They say time heals all wounds, but what if the wound is tied to the one love you thought you could never lose? In Heartland, Season 19, Amy Fleming finds herself caught between holding on to memories and embracing a future that no longer includes Ty. It's not just a story of heartbreak, it's a journey of rediscovery, of painful truths, and the kind of strength that only rises after everything you love has been torn away. And as the ranch changes around her, Amy must face the question she's long avoided. What does moving on truly look like when your heart still whispers his name? The new season begins not with joy, but with quiet echoes of the past. Amy wakes up each morning with Ty's memory lingering like the early morning fog over Heartland. Every part of the ranch still reminds her of him. The barn, the horses, the trails they once rode together. It's as though time has stood still, while the world expects her to move on. And that expectation weighs heavily on her. Lou, Jack, and even Lindy have found their rhythm again. But Amy is stuck in the silence Ty left behind. At first glance, she seems strong, even composed. She's doing her chores, managing the horses, and raising her daughter. But beneath that calm exterior, there's a storm she hides from everyone. Nights are the hardest. That's when the memories flood in without mercy. Ty's laughter, his warm hands, the way he looked at her like she was his whole world. It all lives within her. But now, those memories don't comfort her. They haunt her. Despite the pain, Amy continues to push forward, pretending she's okay for Lindy's sake. She's determined to give her daughter the life she and Ty once dreamed of. But even parenting feels different now. Every milestone Lindy reaches is a reminder of what Ty is missing. Every question Lindy asks about her father pierces Amy in ways no one else can understand. And the hardest part? Trying to answer those questions with a smile when all she wants to do is cry. Her connection with horses remains her only true solace. Each time she steps into the arena, there's a sense of control, of peace. But even that space has changed. A new horse arrives at the ranch, wild, scarred, and resistant to every hand that tries to tame it. Amy sees herself in that horse, broken, guarded, lost. It's through this silent bond that Amy begins to face something she's been avoiding for far too long, the process of healing. But healing isn't linear. As Amy takes small steps toward recovery, unexpected challenges threaten to unravel her progress. A letter arrives, one Ty wrote but never sent. In his handwriting, raw and honest, he speaks of his fears, his dreams, and his deep love for Amy and Lindy. The words hit like a tidal wave. They bring comfort, but also reopen wounds she thought had begun to close. This letter becomes a turning point. For the first time, Amy allows herself to grieve fully. Not just in silence, not just behind closed doors, but openly, vulnerably. She breaks down in Jack's arms. She tells Lou how lost she feels. And she lets Lindy see her cry, explaining that it's okay to feel sad sometimes, even when you're trying to be strong. It's this raw honesty that begins to shift something inside her. Still, a question remains. How do you move on without forgetting? Amy doesn't want to erase Ty from her life, but she's beginning to understand that letting go doesn't mean letting go of love. It means making space for new memories while cherishing the old ones. It means finding joy again, even if it feels like betrayal. And above all, it means allowing herself the permission to live again, not just survive. As the sun sets over Heartland, Amy stands at the edge of the property, the wind brushing her face. She closes her eyes and whispers Ty's name. Not with pain, but with gratitude. For loving her, for changing her, for giving her the strength she didn't know she had. And in that moment, she takes her first real step forward, not away from him, but toward a future where love still lives, even in his absence. But just when Amy thinks she's finally finding peace, life throws another emotional storm her way. The calm doesn't last long. Memories, once buried deep in the past, start resurfacing. A familiar face from the past appears in Hudson, someone Amy never expected to see again. This person doesn't just bring back old memories, they bring unanswered questions. And these questions shake the very foundation of Amy's healing. Amy has spent years learning how to carry Ty's love without his presence. But now, she's forced to face things she thought she had already overcome. Every word, every look, every reminder from the past tests her strength. It's not just about missing Ty anymore, It's about figuring out who she is without him. And that's something Amy never really had time to explore. She always found comfort in her role as a mother, a sister, a horse whisperer. But now, she begins to feel the weight of her own identity. Who is Amy Fleming when she's not holding everyone else together? Lindy senses it too. Children always do. As Amy struggles to stay strong, Lindy's quiet questions hit harder than anything else. She asks about her father's smile, about the way he used to hold her. And each time, Amy's heart breaks a little more. But she answers with honesty, even when it hurts, because Amy knows that shielding Lindy from the pain won't help her grow. Instead, she teaches her daughter something more powerful, how to love and let go at the same time. And then, there's the ranch. Heartland itself has always been a place of healing, but now, even it seems different. The horses sense the shift. Spartan grows restless. Phoenix keeps pacing in his stall. Amy can feel the unease, as if the land is holding its breath. She tries to throw herself into the work, training a troubled new horse that reminds her too much of herself. Wild, defensive, and deeply wounded. As she connects with the animal, she begins to see her own journey reflected back. The more she helps the horse heal, the more she understands that maybe she's still healing too. In the middle of all this, a letter arrives, handwritten with no return address. Inside is a photograph of Ty, one Amy's never seen before. He's standing beside someone unfamiliar. On the back, a simple message. You don't know the whole story. The world seems to tilt beneath her feet. What story? What truth has been hidden from her all these years? This letter sparks something in Amy. Confusion, anger, fear, but also a strange sense of hope. She begins to wonder if Ty left behind more than just memories. Did he have secrets he never shared? Was there a part of his life she never knew? These questions eat away at her peace. They push her to investigate, to ask questions, to chase shadows. But with every step closer to the truth, Amy finds herself pulled further from the life she's trying to rebuild. Jack warns her to be careful. Lou tells her to let the past stay buried. But Amy can't. Something inside her won't let go until she uncovers the truth, no matter what it is. And that truth might be more painful than she ever imagined. As Amy walks this new emotional path, she begins to understand something important. Healing isn't a straight road. Some days she feels strong, other days she breaks down over the smallest things. And that's okay, because real healing doesn't come from pretending to be fine. It comes from facing the truth, even when it hurts. It comes from being honest about your pain and still choosing to move forward. In the quiet moments, when the wind brushes through the trees at Heartland, Amy can almost hear Ty's voice. Not in a ghostly way, but in the way love lingers. It reminds her that she doesn't have to erase the past to live in the present. She can carry it with her, gently, like a scar that no longer hurts, but still teaches. And so Amy keeps going, not because the pain is gone, but because she's learning how to live with it. And that's what makes her journey so powerful. Not her strength, but her courage to be soft even when the world demands she be hard. But just as Amy begins to find her way, life throws her yet another emotional curveball. In season 19, Amy is faced with something she never expected, a letter from Ty. It had been hidden all these years, tucked away in a drawer by Jack, who thought it was too painful for her at the time. Jack believed Amy needed time to heal before she could face Ty's last words. But now, with the letter finally in her hands, Amy is shaken. Her heart pounds as she reads each word, each sentence carrying the weight of everything they never got to say. In that letter, Ty speaks of dreams, of the life they planned, and most painfully, of his hopes for Amy's happiness, even if he couldn't be there. It breaks her heart and heals it at the same time. The words are filled with love, but also with a quiet acceptance. Ty had sensed the danger before that final mission. He knew there was a chance he might not return. And instead of filling the letter with fear, he filled it with faith. In Amy, in their daughter, in their future, no matter what it looked like. The moment Amy finishes reading, she finally cries. Not the tears of grief she once carried, but tears of release. From that moment, Amy is no longer living in the shadow of what was lost. She begins to walk in the light of what can be found. She starts to talk more openly with Lindy about Ty. Not just the sadness of losing him, but the joy of having loved him. She shares stories, laughter, and even the moments that made them stronger. Lindy listens, wide-eyed, holding on to every word, knowing that even though her dad is gone, his spirit is part of her. For the first time, Amy stops trying to shield her daughter from the pain and instead shows her the truth. Love never disappears. It simply changes form. Yet healing is never a straight path. When a man from Amy's past returns, someone she once helped during a difficult time, it stirs emotions she thought were long buried. He isn't Ty. He doesn't try to be, but he sees Amy not as the broken widow or the strong mother, but as a woman still learning how to feel again. His presence challenges her, confronts her with questions she's not sure she's ready to answer. Could she ever open her heart again? Is it even fair to try? Lou notices the change first. She asks Amy if she's falling in love again. Amy, conflicted, says she doesn't know. But the truth is, she does feel something. Fear, guilt, and maybe, just maybe, a spark of something more. She's terrified of what it means to move on. Does moving forward mean leaving Ty behind? Can she allow herself to feel joy again without betraying the love she once held so dearly? At the same time, Lindy starts showing signs of growing up fast. She's watching everything, feeling everything. One night, she asks her mother a question that cuts right through Amy's heart. If you're happy again, does that mean Daddy didn't matter? Amy's voice trembles as she answers, No, sweetheart. It means he still matters so much that I want to live the way he would have wanted us to, full of love, not fear. That becomes Amy's turning point. She doesn't rush anything. She doesn't try to replace what's irreplaceable. But she stops punishing herself for surviving. She allows herself to feel again, to smile without guilt, and to embrace the life that still stretches out before her. She pours her energy into new work with troubled horses, teaching others how to heal by connecting with animals. Her clients begin to mirror her own healing, broken but slowly becoming whole. And through it all, the bond with her family deepens. Jack, who once feared Amy would never recover, sees her strength like never before. Tim, once skeptical of her choices, tells her he's proud. Lou supports her every step, and Katie becomes a quiet anchor. As for Georgie, her return to Heartland in the middle of Amy's journey becomes a full-circle moment. Two women who've battled pain and found new paths forward. Amy's healing isn't loud or flashy. It's in the quiet moments. A smile shared with Lindy, a sunrise ride that feels like peace, a deep breath without the weight of yesterday. It's in learning that grief doesn't end. It just learns to live alongside hope. Season 19 becomes the most emotionally powerful chapter of Amy's life, not because of heartbreak, but because of how she rises through it. And by the end, we're left with a simple truth that echoes through every scene. You don't move on from love, you grow around it. And Amy Fleming, she's still growing, still healing, still riding forward, with Ty's memory not behind her, but beside her. Some journeys don't have a clear ending, and for Amy Fleming, the journey of healing will always be ongoing. But what makes her story so powerful is that she never gave up. Not when life tore her world apart, not when the memories of Ty felt too heavy to carry, and not when the path forward was unclear. She stood strong even when her heart was breaking quietly in the background. And that quiet strength, that resilience, is what continues to inspire every Heartland fan, season after season. As we leave Amy's world for now, we carry with us more than just a story. We carry the weight of her courage, her choices, and her emotional battles. She didn't erase the pain, she learned to live beside it. And that's something many of us understand all too well. We've all lost something or someone. We've all had moments where moving forward felt like a betrayal to the past. But Amy shows us that it's not about forgetting. It's about honoring the past while choosing to live fully in the present. In season 19, Amy didn't just move on. She grew. She opened her heart again, not by replacing Ty, but by realizing that love can exist in many forms. Through horses, through family, through quiet moments under the open sky, she found pieces of peace that helped stitch her broken heart back together. And it wasn't fast. It wasn't easy. But it was real. And real healing is always messy, always slow, always worth it. So, if you're watching Amy and wondering if you too can move on from your pain, let her journey be your reminder. It's okay to hurt. It's okay to miss what was. And it's okay to love again. Life doesn't ask us to forget. It asks us to keep living, to hold on to the good, to grow from the sorrow, and most importantly, to believe that even after the darkest chapters, there are still beautiful pages left to turn. Heartland. Season 19 isn't just about horses or romance. It's about finding strength in vulnerability, hope in loss, and purpose in the midst of change. Amy's journey tells us one simple truth. We heal not by erasing the past, but by learning to live with it, beside it, and beyond it. And that is what makes her story unforgettable.